guys, welcome back for another video. If you're tuning in for the first time, I'm Ashley and today we're slaying this gorgeous 5x5 lace wig courtesy of Eva Wigs. So this is what she looks like straight out of the package. I did go ahead and co-wash her. When she came, she was more of a straight texture, but of course after I co-wash, she has this beautiful wavy texture. This is what the construction of the cap looks like. You guys can see they included the elastic band, and again, as I said before, it's a 5x5 closure. So we are going to be rocking this one glueless. If you haven't seen me install a wig glueless, this will be your first time. Stay tuned and keep on watching. So for starters, this is what the hairline looks like. You have here from here is 5 inches, and then going backwards is 5 inches as well. As you guys can pretty much see, this one sits on the hairline very well. The entire wig fits super snug, and that's one thing I do love about closure wigs opposed to frontal wigs. Closure wigs are more likely to fit glueless. So if you are in the market for a wig and you don't know how to install properly, a closure wig is a great starter wig, because again, you don't have to worry about glue bonding it down. You can literally cut off the lace and, like, you know, do your baby hair and, you know, figure it out from there. And then as you wear the wig and it grows on you, you can slowly but surely, as you get more and more comfortable, you know, tweeze out the hairline or do this or do that. For me, I went ahead and tweezed it out a little bit. It's always to tweeze the hairline off of the wig. I should have tweezed the hairline on a mannequin head immediately after I co-washed. Instead, I allowed it to air dry, and then again I applied it. So I'm going in now. So I'm really feeling this one. I love the texture of this naturally. If I had not co-washed it, I would not have realized how beautiful the hair is. It's nice, it has a dark, color to it. It has a nice sheen to it. And as you guys see, I'm showing you the lace. I did cut into the lace, and I wanted you guys to see that, just because I know a lot of you are afraid of cutting off the lace. A lot of the times I will cut off little pieces here and there. You want to cut the hairline to mimic or fit your hairline, so you don't necessarily have to cut it blunt straight across. You can kind of zigzag it along the way. That way you won't have that straight line across. Now don't get too happy. You don't want to cut too much. Now I did tweeze out the hairline, but I definitely felt like it wasn't enough. And honestly, when you tweeze on the hairline and you keep doing it, it gets a little bit irritating. You kind of feel that, peck at your scalp or your forehead, and it just kind of hurts a little bit. So I'm going and I'm doing the pull method. I do not recommend this method because you can definitely stretch out your lace and or rip a hole in your lace. But at this point, I just kind of wanted to thin it out so that it can look a lot more natural. And as you guys can see, I got that. You guys can also see one of the downsides to a closure wig is that, after the closure ends, you just have a wig cap and it's not as natural. So like you see where the arch of my eyebrow is, pretty much everything from below that towards the ear is not gonna look as natural. So you'll have to finesse that, and I'll show you how I do it, once we get to that step. So I'm taking a eyebrow razor and kind of just jagged cutting the baby hair. You don't necessarily want or need it to be all blunt in one length. And you guys can see I did not bond it down. It's not bonded down at all. I'm just gonna go straight in and do the baby hair. And as you guys can see, as I move it, it doesn't slide or lift or fall back or push back at all. But if you want a little bit of reinsurance, you can definitely bond it down. But I guarantee if you get your size, it will fit perfect. Now, as you guys can see, I did some big juicy swoops. This is not cute. I definitely have to go in and customize, and you'll see along the way I'll continue to mess with it until I get it to the way I like it. But sometimes it's easy just to go in and make your swoops, move on, and then come back and customize it to be perfect. Now I'm going to take my electric hot comb and kind of just press out the hairline as much as I can. A lot of people don't like electric hot combs because they feel like it doesn't work. In my opinion, I understand, because when I first started using them, I'm like, this is pointless. My flat iron does a better job. But when it comes to getting the root of like your wigs, it definitely helps. Whereas a flat iron, you definitely cannot get the root the way you can with an electric hot comb. So that's the difference to me. The electric hot comb for me is about pressing out the roots, the lace area of a wig, and the flat iron is more so about, you know, pressing out or flattening out the length or the ends of the hair. Now I just added a little bit of wax, and as you guys know, every single thing that I use is listed in the description box as always for you to shop, check out, you know, whatever you would like. You can also find a lot of this stuff in your local beauty supplies. Target sells certain things, so you can like click the link if you want to see the brand or how much it costs, and then, you know, you can of course shop around and find it wherever you may find it for the best price. And at this point, like, the wig is installed, but you guys can see it looks pretty wiggy. So you just, at this point, okay, it's on, it's installed, the lace is cut, the baby hair is done. But at this point, it's about making it look more natural. Like, it's installed, but it looks wiggy. So at this point, you just finesse. You see, I'm kind of customizing the baby hair a little bit more. I trimmed the pieces down in each section. I made more swoops. I turned one big swoop into two smaller swoops. And, you know, just finesse. Now we've wet the hair down and added a little bit of mousse. I absolutely loved the curls the way they were originally, but you know, of course, once you hit the elements, it'll get frizzy and this and that, and you kind of want to tame it. So the gold thing was a spray bottle, and it just had water in it, and then I added the mousse as my styling product of choice. Typically, I would use a moisturizing conditioner like the Aussie, but it just wasn't near me, but I kind of wish I would have used that. I just love the way that works with my curls in most cases. This is a concealer. You guys know I love the Fenty in the color 420 because I feel like it goes best with my complexion. Typically, I only go into the parting with this one, but because this is a closure wig, I kind of felt like even though I tweezed it and even though I did the pull method a little bit, it just still didn't look as natural and gradient in the hairline. And this is something I can go back in and fix with the tweezers after the fact, but for now I just kind of went in with the concealer. And the difference is the concealer along the hairline is going to conceal any knots. It's going to make it look a little bit more tweezed, whereas a powder is just going to make the lace look the color of my skin, if that makes any sense. So it kind of was a little bit on the hair, so I kind of just sprayed it with the hairspray and kind of like brushed it and finessed it out. And that's just my trick. If you get a little bit of like your concealer or your foundation powder on the hair, just kind of either wet it or like spray with some hairspray and like put a little heat to it, or just comb and brush it out and it'll, you know, come right out. Now I'm primping a little bit more. I want it as flat as possible along the hairline. Okay, here we are for the last step. As I said before, you know, anything past the arch of the eyebrow is going to be just wig cap, so it kind of just looks a little bit weird. I'm going to take and feather some hair and just cut it so that it kind of goes in the direction of that. That way it just lays going in the opposite direction and kind of just covers that, so you don't just see wig cap. You want to finesse, even if people know it's a wig, you kind of want it to more look like a frontal wig, like you've, you know, installed ear to ear and you got your got-to-be glued. You don't want it to look like a, you know, quick, simple, cheesy, you know, wig. And even though this one is a nice quality, you know, that wig cap just kind of is a dead giveaway, and it just ruins everything if people see that, so to speak. So I'm just kind of cutting hairs to go along the rest of the way and kind of just forming the hairs. You don't want them to necessarily be baby hairs. You just want them to just sit going in that direction, and just spray it down with some hairspray. So again, this one came from Eva Wig. I absolutely enjoyed installing and doing this glueless install. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, share this video with your friends, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Smooches!